Okay, you guys, so today I'm going to take you through a couple different counselor directories as promised, so you can get a better idea of how to use them, what they're like, kind of get a feel for them, get familiar with them, so you know how to best find a perfect match therapist. And if you're like, counselor directories, what the heck are those? No worries, I'm going to leave the link here for you for the last video, so go ahead and check that out to get caught up. Otherwise, let's get to it. As previously stated, there are a ton of counselor directories out there, which is great, right? Every therapist can find one that jives with them, and likewise for you for searching for a therapist. And honestly, you may want to check out multiple of these options that I'm going to go over today, because we counselors do have to pay for these services, so we're listed on these sites so you can find us. And some therapists do choose to list themselves on multiple of these directories, but those business costs do add up quickly, so we are likely not on every single one of those directories. So make sure to check out multiple just so you can get the full picture of who might be in your area. Counselor directories really have been changing quite rapidly over the last few years, so let's just start with one that has been around for quite a while. It's called PsychologyToday, so let's check it out. PsychologyToday. Whoops. Wow, if I could spell that'd be sweet. Alrighty, let's scroll down here. PsychologyToday. Okay, so when you hop on PsychologyToday, this is what you're going to see. So if you're trying to search for a therapist, then you'll come down here to find a therapist, and you'll just type in your zip code. And honestly, you can search for therapists, you can search for psychiatrists, different treatment centers, and even, looks like support groups now too. That looks like maybe a new feature, or maybe I just haven't been on here in a minute. Either way, I'm not sure. Alrighty, so now you get to see who all is in your area just by zip code. Or you can come up here to issues and check out more issues. And you can find there's so many different things on here. So basically whatever you are dealing with, you can find somebody in your area, hopefully that does specialize in that. So let's just stick with, depression is probably a very common issue that therapists do list, because we do often have just a lot of experience with working with individuals with depression. So let's try to find one that's a little bit maybe different. All right, let's do OCD. Okay. And then for this, you can also say if you have insurance, you can click on all of the different insurance options depending on what you got. And if you do not have insurance, or if you don't want to use insurance benefits, I think I mentioned this in the last video, but therapists can provide this thing called a super bill, which is super cool because it basically allows you to maybe get reimbursed for part of your expenses when it comes to therapy. So you'll pay up front usually for a session, but then you can submit this thing called a super bill, and you might get part of that reimbursed depending on your out-of-network provider plan or benefits. Okay, so you'll click maybe, let's just do Aetna. All right. So you'll do Aetna, and then you'll say gender. Do you want to see whatever gender? We've got women, we've got men, and we've got non-binary as options here. So let's just click on women, and then you can say type of therapy. So let's go to more types of therapy. Okay, guys, there's so many different kinds. There's so many different types of therapy. So if you have a preference, feel free to check the boxes. These unfortunately don't have descriptions of what these are. So if you don't have a preference, or if you're not super familiar with different types of therapy, maybe leave these blank, and you can talk with whatever therapist you have for the consult and see what they provide and see if that kind of jives with you. You can always ask those questions to just have them describe what is this type of therapy, what does it even mean, what does treatment look like, or what does counseling look like with this type of therapy with that particular provider. So I'm not going to click any of these for now. Age. Okay, so age here is going to be your age, or the age of the individual that you're looking for services for. Does that make sense? Okay, let's just do adults maybe. All right, then we have price point. So less than $90, $90 to $130, and more than $130, or even a sliding fee scale, which is cool to have that as an option. All right, let's check out more. There's different ethnicities, different sexualities. different languages, and different faiths. So those are all the different options. You can clear the filters, you can add on more filters. So with the ones that we have so far, let's just kind of scroll on down, because usually there is a colored bar of some kind, or not at all, whatever. Sometimes when you're scrolling down, you can see, I think it used to be a yellow bar, I don't know if it still is, some type of bar that says, the therapist basically above this bar meet the criteria in your filter search, and the ones below do not. So sometimes they still do show you people who are outside of your search. So if you see that yellow bar, just make sure to, I guess, pay attention to it. I've known a couple people in the past that have gotten tripped up, including myself. So let's take a look at the next one. This one is going to be called Good Therapy. Let's do it. Okay, we gotta scroll down past some of these big tech companies that I mentioned last time. Again, throwing a little caution to the wind there. And let's check out Good Therapy. Alrighty, so when you hop onto Good Therapy, this is what you're going to find. You can find a therapist, you can find telehealth in particular, you can find a facility, so this will be like treatment centers or group practices, larger organizations that provide mental health services. Find an event, I was looking at this a little bit earlier, this one is actually groups, so this can be therapy groups, I saw mostly therapy groups, maybe there's support groups there too if you search a little bit. And then they also have blog posts that you can check out to get some information, which is pretty nifty. Here you see the blog of more events for therapists. So support group, okay, so they do have support groups and different therapeutic types of groups. All right, so let's go to therapist. Again, type in this here and let's search. Alrighty, so when you get on here, you're gonna see this list of therapists. Awesome. You can change your proximity depending on the zip code that you put in, how, I guess, far you're willing to drive, or if you are doing teletherapy, that doesn't really matter. Say we want a free initial consultation, that's a like 15-minute phone call that you get to ask those questions. Offering a slidey fee scale, cool. All right, different specialties. Again, there are so many. So just pick the one, I would say, that most closely matches what you are going through currently or what you're wanting help with. So type of service. This is not necessarily type of therapy, but this type of service. So do you want telehealth? Are you looking for supervision? Awesome. If you're a therapist who found this video, cool. You can search for supervisors on Good Therapy. I did not know that. So if you want a coach or consultation, super cool. You can click those boxes. You want family therapy, group therapy, home-based therapy, or individual, super cool. Or even pastoral, pre-marriage, and psychological evaluations. Awesome. Good Therapy is going up the ranks for me for sure. Of course, we also have insurance companies, so if you're wanting to use those insurance benefits, make sure to click your particular insurance. What gender would you prefer for your therapist? What age group you are in as well. So a lot of different therapists do have different like specialty areas, of course, so that's like the concerns that we are dealing with, like anxiety, depression, eating disorders, those types of things. But we also have, sometimes specialties in we want to work with kids, we want to work with preteens, teenagers, adults, elders, whomever. So make sure to click what you are and you'll get the best fit for you. Then we have language, availability. I love that they have that. That's a little bit different than Psychology Today. You can actually click on when the therapists are available. So if you absolutely need evening hours or weekend hours, depending on your work schedule or family life, then this gives you the option, which is awesome. This also has accessibility, which is great. Again, this is kind of where I was saying that directories are really changing over the last couple of years, and they're beginning to be way more accessible to either hours and availability or also just accessible in general. So awesome. Same thing with different communities served as well. So cool that they have these. Okay. And then of course you have the different types of therapy. Moving right along, the next one that we're going to look at is called Find a Therapist. All right, let's check this guy out. Again, moving on past these ads here, and whoops, wow. Where are we? There we go. So you got to scroll down a little bit to see Find a Therapist. Maybe their SEO isn't like super on point. No worries, it's tough. Okay, find a therapist. This is what you shall find. We will get to typing in our zip code here in just a second. Get a little note about find a therapist. You have featured therapists, which is always so interesting. I always wonder how they pick them. You got some articles here to help out. And it looks like you can search by state as well, which is pretty nifty, so you make sure that you are finding someone in your state. That's always good, right? Okay, so we're gonna type in a zip code. Again, you can click distance away from your zip code if that really is mattering to you. You can click specialty, so it looks like these are concerns that you might be coming to counseling with. So many different ones. Okay. Experience. So this is gonna be the number of years that a counselor has been seeing clients, and that's gonna list on their profile based on when they received their licensure. So if you want 1 year, cool. If you want 20 years, cool. It just depends on what level of experience you want your therapist to have. Alrighty, then we have insurance accepted, yada yada. Wow, there's so many different insurances out there. Crazy. Alrighty, client focus. Looks like this particular client focus is just age related, so make sure to click on, like if you are searching for therapy for your child and they are ages 6 to 10, you'll want to click this one right here. Treatment orientations. This is going to be the different therapeutic styles or therapeutic techniques. So if you want a CBT therapist, if you want an ACT therapist, if you want hypnotherapy, make sure to click whatever you want to receive. Gosh, there's so many different types of treatment types out there, different types of therapy out there. If you have questions on different types of therapeutic techniques or different types of therapy, just send me a message, drop a note down in the comments. I would love to do a video just to explain some of these things so it's not as mysterious and you know really what you're getting. Looks like you can also choose your faith here and whether or not you want teletherapy, which is pretty nifty. Okay, and then you just scroll on down, you can see their address, you can see a little bit about them, and yeah, you're just kind of scrolling through until you find someone that you want to check out, and then you'll give them a call. Let's check out Theravive now. Oh, look at that. They come up first and foremost. Very cool. Great SEO. Okay, Theravive. Let's see. Looks like they got online and in person. Sweet. So you can find a therapist. Let's see. You can do a main search. You can do just online counseling. You can do it by state. You can do it by zip code. If you are only looking for a online therapist to provide telehealth services for you, it's easier, I guess, to look just by state. But if you really want someone in your area who knows the resources of your area, it might be better to check out just within your zip code. Looks like they've got a lot of different information here, different topics, different research. Gosh, they got a lot going on here. Find a workshop, find resources. Awesome. It's always good to know what sites you can go to who are within the counseling realm so you can find resources easy when you need them. Things like support groups, therapeutic groups, other events, anything like that. All right, we will stick with the same zip code here that we've been using, and then you get to choose a specialty. So are you looking for an individual counselor? Are you looking for a marriage counselor? It looks like you can even say what types of issues that you're experiencing as well. It's got a very limited one though, so let's just not choose this and see what we get when we get in here. Okay, so as you saw, I really only typed in a zip code and we are not getting very many hits here at all. And they really don't, looks like there aren't even filters that you can utilize to narrow down your search other than maybe location, and I guess these are the different specialists within that area, which is good to know. But it looks like there aren't really many filters here that you can narrow down your search a bit more, so I'm not sure if this one's going to be super helpful for you guys. Okay, next one is going to be called Theravive. Okay, again with the big tech companies, let's get this here. Okay, cool. Theravive. Okay, so already you can kind of see that the language here is just a little bit fresher. So instead of something that just is like type or services or anything like that. You're actually going to ask a question. So I'm looking for help with, and what are we looking for help with? Let's say we're looking for help with anxiety or fears near Westchester. Why not? Okay. And then as you get in here, you can do radius. You can do how far away from your zip code you want. You can put your own keywords in. So if you missed my last video when I did talk a whole bunch about keywords, go ahead and check that one out. I will leave a link here again for you, and you can check that out and see which keywords you might want to include in your search. Okay, so I do like that they have this map here. I think it's pretty handy. And also down here at the bottom, most common treatment approach, cognitive behavioral therapy. There's an experience range as well, different specialties, the average experience, average fee of this area, which I think is awesome to have. I haven't seen anything like that on any of the other ones. So all of that info is quite helpful. Does it change at all with the different? No, not so much. Okay, but anyway. So Therapy Tribe doesn't necessarily have a whole bunch of filters like some of the other ones do, but I do love the map feature. I think that's pretty helpful, and also all of this information at the bottom here, which shows especially the average fee. That's so important to know, especially if you're not wanting to use insurance benefits, and also experiential range and the different types of approaches I think can be super helpful to know, so you know where you need to look basically for what you're trying to find. Okay, the last one that we're going to check out today is called Mental Health Match. This one I left for last because it is kind of in-depth. You kind of go through a bit of a questionnaire, I guess I will call it. So this one does have an ad, but I know that this is Mental Health Match, so we're going to go to Mental Health Match. Okay, here we go. This is what you are going to see when you log in here. It has some information about insurance. So let's just type in our zip code here, and I'm going to take you through the questionnaire that we're going to go through. Yes, I agree. Let's get matched, shall we? Actually, let me go back here for just a second. So you can either go through this questionnaire thing and get matched to therapists that specifically meet your needs, or you can simply browse if you're just looking around. So for the purposes of this video, let's just go through the questionnaire so you get a feel for some of these questions, things that you might want to know whether you're using Mental Health Match or just in general when you are searching for a therapist. These are some good questions to answer for yourself. Okay. Do you want therapy with another person? So are you looking for family therapy, couples therapy, or individual therapy? I just want it for myself. How old am I? And I identify as female. Alrighty, English, perfect. Okay, what types of concerns do you want to chat with your therapist? This is part of why I love Mental Health Match so much. It's not just clicking depression, anxiety, anger, OCD, all the different things. It's talking about, okay, I need to talk about different behaviors. I want to talk about goals that I have for my life, or how I'm feeling, what's going on with my relationships. They're using, I think, language that's a little bit easier to navigate for people in general. All right, I'm going to say how I feel. Let's talk about emotions. Okay, let's say I feel burnt out and lost. Look at how many different ones that you get to choose from. I think that's awesome. It's really starting off right away with giving you the opportunity to name your experience, even if this is difficult. Then you can click in your own words and type it out for yourself. Awesome. I love this feature. Okay, so different approaches. It looks like the primary approach is going to be talk therapy. That's the usual, right? But this is really neat because if you have interest in learning about meditation for interest, or, nature therapy, or movement, like somatic types of therapy, art therapy, anything like that, just alternate types of therapy, then you get to choose that, and then you'll get linked to a therapist who maybe specializes in that or has experience in it, which is very cool. Or of course you can say other. And I guess for our purposes, let's just do a meditation. Different things that you want to explore. Let's take a look at relationships with other people, your dreams perhaps, childhood, get some inner child stuff going on. Cool. Patterns of how you think, that's very CBT. Why you behave the way you do, again, very CBT. Let's just do what matters most. All right, what types of skills do you want to learn in your time in therapy? Again, awesome. I love what language that they're using. I think this is so helpful because then the therapist in their website copy for this particular directory can put in these keywords. They can describe how they approach these different concerns and how they help. Love it. Let's just do stress management. Alrighty, what types of traits are important to you in a therapist? I am not going to click any of these for the time being. Let's just move right along. All right, insurance. You want to use it, you don't want to use it. Is the price important to you or is it not? And then you get to meet your matches. So then you can scroll on down and get some information about people. When you find ones you like, then you can view their profile. You can call them, email them, whatever floats your boat. Alrighty, let's just click on this one. Let's find out a little bit more about them, shall we? Let's see if there's a video. Okay, there's no video. The other videos that I was clicking on, or the other profiles that I was clicking on before, automatically played a video. I guess that's helpful. I don't know. Kind of freaks me out when I hear voice coming out of something that I did not click play, but to each his own. Okay, so up here you can see current availability. Awesome. I think that is great. Availability does change quite rapidly sometimes. I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know. But I think it depends on the therapist. So definitely always double check with the therapist before you're like, yes, Monday at 1 p.m. That's for me, because that could be taken already. So this is what you will find when you click on somebody's profile. You get to just hear a little bit more about them and their approach and how they help people in general. And I think that's something that's very unique to Mental Health Match. We didn't see that in the other profiles or the other directories. So I love this particular feature. Okay, so those are just a few of the directories that are out in the interwebs, so you can kind of have a better idea of where you want to even begin your search. I hope that this tutorial-esque type of video has been helpful for you. As always, if it has been helpful, go ahead and let me know by hitting that like button, sharing this with family, friends, whomever you think is going to benefit. And of course, I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you next time.